Well, the Wall Street Journal reporting that the biggest beneficiaries of Obamacare, Americans with chronic illnesses, might also be big losers, facing higher out-of-pocket drug costs hidden on the new insurance exchanges. Joining us now to talk about how Obamacare may hit patients' pocketbooks, Vital Spring Technologies CEO Dr. Sreedhar Potarazu. And Dr. P, as we like to call you, it's great to have you on this topic. You know, the Journal actually found that the biggest issue here is that when patients go to the exchanges, you still have to sign up for the plan before they'll tell you what your benefits are going to be. How are we supposed to know what our out-of-pocket costs are going to be on the drugs that we need every day?
Very, very tough. And especially where a lot of sick people are opting into the exchanges because in general, the premiums might be lower. They're going to have a really tough time in finding out how much the drugs that they need are going to cost them. Typically what are called Tier 3 and Tier 4 drugs, which could be either brand or specialty drugs, often require people to pay more in terms of their own individual responsibility. But what's almost impossible or very difficult for consumers to figure out when they go to healthcare.gov and on the exchanges is what plans are actually available, how much they're going to cost, and what drugs are actually in the formularies for the plans that they're picking. And what could happen is you end up with a lot of sick people who think they're going to get the drugs that they need, who figure out that they're going to have to pay a lot more in order to keep those drugs.
Well, here's one of the things that the Journal did. I think this is interesting. Take the HIV drug, Atripla, for example. The retail cost of that drug is $2,200 a month. Now, if you go to Cigna, for example, you're going to be paying more than $1,000 a month for that drug. And this is in the state of Florida. This is where they broke down their example. But then if you're going to look at some Humana, also in Florida, it's $800. Molina Healthcare, $55 a month. I mean, but this information isn't getting through to these consumers. The insurance companies, are they the ones at the end of the day they're going to have to figure out what information is going to get to the consumer? And are they going to be liable to lawsuits if HIV patients, people that have MS, start to sue because they say that they were misinformed and lied to?
Well, it's going to be complicated because, yes, the insurance companies do have a responsibility in ultimately providing the information about the plans. But here's the catch-22 in that example that you just gave. On the one hand, you're going to compare those three plans in the state of Florida based on the prescription drugs that are covered within a given plan. But you're also going to have to superimpose on that whether your doctors are covered by those plans. So suppose you run up in a situation where your doctor's in one plan, but the prescription drugs that you need are not covered by the plan. What does the individual do? So it's very complicated in terms of the choices the consumers are going to be left with because it's, you know, even within the employer market, it's a very complicated decision, and often consumers don't really understand the amount of their individual responsibility. Then what happens? Some people don't end up getting their prescriptions filled.
So many patients have to be, especially cancer patients, have got to be on certain treatment regimens, and that's a doctor-patient. That's going to be broken, unfortunately, that confidentiality. Well, Dr. P, thank you very much for joining us on this issue. It's fascinating.
Thank you. Appreciate it.